Well, hi, Brooke. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this 15-minute franchise owner interview. I know our candidates really appreciate having the opportunity to hear about your experience and journey as a right-at-home owner. Um, so, would you mind, first of all, just sharing your name, location, number of territories that you own?
Yes, my name is Brooke Fredericks, and I am the owner and managing director of Right at Home in Southern Oregon. We have one territory. We were founded in 2011, so we've been in business for 12 years.
Oh, fantastic. And why did you end up becoming a right-at-home franchise owner?
Well, I have a background as an auditor, and I worked with a lot of different companies back in the day, and it was always my dream to start my own business. And so I actually worked with a franchise consultant, and I was looking at all different kinds of businesses. And I do come from a healthcare family, so when I landed on Right at Home and in-home care, I was interested and thought that might be an area that would be good for me. And so I just looked further into it, and yeah, that's how I landed on Right at Home.
Perfect, perfect. It is probably a lot different than your, past background of being an auditor.
It is really different. So I was working, on a computer, and I really wanted to work with people more and help people. And I thought I would be good at that. And, my mom was a nurse and my grandmother was a nurse, and they helped people. And I realized along the way that I learned a lot from them, and that has really helped me in this business.
Fantastic. And when you were looking at, different businesses to get into something, I know you had just shared that you wanted to do something where you weren't just behind a computer, where you had that interaction with people. What made you finally decide, hey, this is the right business for me?
Well, I spoke with Right at Home a lot, and we had a lot of conversations. And I just really felt that the things that I really liked about Right at Home was just that the people are really nice. I felt like it felt supportive to me when I was talking to them. So I was confident I would get the support I needed, and I was worried about that. I wanted to start a business, but I didn't really know what I was doing at first. And I really felt like these are the people that are going to really show me how to do it. I knew that Right at Home was a thought leader in the industry, and I really liked that would might set me apart, which it has. That there's things that I know that I go out in my community and talk about that I've learned from Right at Home, and that there's just a lot of support that I appreciate. Yeah.
So, well, thank you. So walk me through, and I'm sure your typical day today is a lot different than over a decade ago when you got started. So would you tell me a little bit about what your early experience was like and what it's like today?
Oh my goodness. So the typical day was you probably have heard this a lot. There was no typical day back in the day. So at the beginning, I had one person in my office that was answering the phone, and I was out marketing. And so I
Mhm.
was out all the time. And then when we'd get a call for a new client, I would rush back in, get all the information, and go out and assess a client. So I was kind of pulled in a lot of directions all at once for those first couple of years. And, you know, building an office staff was really tricky at first because it was hard to know what I needed and what was going to work well, and being able to afford people to do the work. And there was just so many challenges at the beginning. It was really a lot and fairly overwhelming. And I wish now that I had just paced myself a little more, because you're kind of trying to do everything at once. And so that's just kind of the way it goes at first. So now a typical day now is a little more predictable. I might, get up in the morning and start at home looking through my emails and looking at what my calendar looks like for the day. And then I'll come into the office, and I might have a stand-up meeting with my office staff and talk about what's going on and do some problem solving with any client or caregiver issues or whatever might be the problem of the day. And we'll talk about that. I might go out and visit a client for various reasons. I might visit someone that's already a client. I might assess a new client. I might go out and just talk to someone about something in particular. And then I take phone calls too. So if there's certain things, I'm the one who has a lot of the knowledge about the resources in the community. So if someone calls and wants to know about that, I might talk to someone on the phone and just share information that will help them. And then, I might have lunch with a referral source or touch base with a referral source because, I'm not the marketer now, but I was back in the day and I still know all these people. So I will do something to stay in contact with them. And then I'll go through my mail and take care of administrative things. And then usually after the staff goes home, I'll stay for another hour and maybe do some work in QuickBooks or some administrative work.
Okay, fantastic. And how did your family feel about you getting into this field? I know you said that your mom and your grandma were both, in the medical field. Were they happy that you made the switch from being an auditor to making a difference in people's lives?
Yeah, so my family always knew that it was my goal to own a business someday, so that was no surprise. I had really great support from my husband, my children, really, really great support. So they were all for it. And when things were difficult at the beginning and I was struggling, that moral support was really helpful. So yes, I had really great support. And then of course from right at home as well.
Absolutely. I love that. What do you feel like is the most valuable piece of support that you get, being a right at home franchise owner?
So, I mean, really, there's so much support I get. I would say I was a performance group member for 9 years. So that was, having access to other owners and talking about what we're doing well and what our challenges are was really super helpful. And of course, my performance coach was really helpful at the beginning when you don't know anyone yet. And your coach, they're talking to all the owners. So they've heard it all. So whatever problem you're having, they've heard and seen it all, and they know what works and what doesn't. And that's been very helpful.
Perfect. And then thinking, back, over 10 years ago when you went through this process, what do you feel like is, a piece of advice that you would want to give somebody who's going through this process, just getting ready to start being a right at home franchise owner?
That was my hardest question. I saw that. I thought, oh, there's so many things. I would say for me, really following the right at home formula, that I've always believed in that and trusted that because I know that there's been hundreds of owners that have gone through and done things a certain way. And right at home knows what works from seeing all of that. And so really just believing in the system and following the system. And if you do that, it works.
Fantastic. Well, Brooke, I so appreciate your time today. I just absolutely love getting the opportunity to talk to our franchise owners in the system. They're the reason why all of us at corporate, do what we do. And we know what a difference you all are making on the front lines in your communities. And you have a very special place in my heart and everybody, at the corporate office. And I know you're just impacting so many people's lives.
Well, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. It was fun to talk with you.
Yes, you as well. Have a great day. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.